Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and I've been meaning to do this video for about a month, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And this morning, I went to get this particular set of prayer beads that I made a very, very long time ago, and it reminded me that I've been meaning to do this video, and so I thought I would go ahead and do it. So this is a VR to Elle from Sacred Seed. About a month ago, had done a video about prayer beads, pagan beads, mala beads, like how she makes them, what she does with them. And I had been meaning, because I do use them and I've made them, and I've been meaning to do a video on this, and I just hadn't got around to it. And so this is what I'm going to do. This is a beautiful box. Now watch, I won't be able to remember how to get it open. You have to remove this. Mrs. Stone, I call her Miss Stone, she sent this to me and just broke my heart in sweetness. It's a puzzle box, obviously of Buddha, and in it is a beautiful rose quartz heart that she, when I was really having some trouble, I think it was around Michael's anniversary of when he passed, she would lit candle, and she kind of kept this by the candle for me and Katie, and representing Michael, in honor of Michael. And so she sent this to me in this box, and it is a treasured piece for me. It's on my shelf, and it is a treasure to me. And you have to put it in the right way or it won't go in. There we go. So that's what this is, but of course it is absolutely stunning, and I keep my mala beads. So this is a set of mala beads that I made a very long time ago, and this is made out of wood. These are just simply strung with a focal bead and then another single bead, and then using embroidery floss, that thicker kind, not like you use for cross stitch, but there's a thicker kind of wound kind, and just made a tassel at the end of it. And while I absolutely love these, I don't really use these for meditation. I have, and this particular one I simply use for breathing. So I will just take a long breath in, a long breath out, all the way around, and then at the end of this, I generally would do like a loving kindness meditation, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So metta. But mostly this is just comforting. This is like a prayer shawl to me. If I'm really stressed out, if I'm really I will put these on. I'll literally wrap them or put them around my neck. Also, if I just need to get in a really kind of sacred space, I also use these. They are just comforting, in very much times of difficulty with Michael and things. Just having them in my hand was comforting. So these I don't use a whole lot, or haven't even in the past used these a whole lot in terms of a practice, but they are simply comfort to me. They are peace. They're kind of infused with peace. They're infused with intentions of living in the present. Everything that I learned through my journey with Buddhism that brought me into a safe mental space and a peaceful space is kind of infused in these, and that's really what they're for. Now the same thing goes for the rosary that I picked up for kind of in honor of my grandmother. I don't use this. I will put a link below, because Annika from Nobody's Here, she posted kind of a video with a recording of going through I think it's the Hail Marys, which is gorgeous, and I will put a link to that in the description box, as well as a link to Elle's video. But I haven't, since I've had these, I don't use these for actual meditation or saying Hail Marys or anything like that. But for me, it's a connection to my grandmother, and it's a connection to the divine feminine, and it's a connection to just my past, and a kind of reclaiming of that past. And so I literally, this is just something that I will just hold if I want to be connected to my grandmother. I had this with me the whole time with her at her funeral and things of that nature, and kind of going through that time period. And so this is for me about comfort and about grounding in that particular energy. Now, the same thing here, I was gifted this gorgeous more of a pagan prayer beads, right? And this has, I believe, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which I quite love because it's 3 times 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So this has 3 sets of 9, which are 3 sets of 3. So that is fantastic symbolically. And I have used this to do what I call smiling meditation twice, and then an act of loving kindness, because you do have 4 here, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So this can actually serve as a loving kindness meditation as well, but mostly I just use this to connect to that kind of wolf energy. And I will sometimes do readings with it wrapped in my hands like this. It is more of a connecting to a particular energy that I would want to be kind of grounded or rooted in or connected to, just like I might hold Raven just as a palm stone almost, and connect to energy. That's kind of what I use this for, but I have used it to actually do meditations as well. But mostly this is just something that I hold on to when I'm doing readings and things. It again acts a little bit more like a prayer shawl, or more like just a stone tapping into a particular energy that's infused in it. So that's another example there. This here is what I would call, what I would actually have many hours of actually working with. So this is another set of beads that I made, but I used twine here. Just these are simple beads. This is a very lightweight wood bead, and twine, or just kind of hemp cord that I knotted in between each one. This is very cheap to make. This is very easy to make. You're simply, sticking a bead and tying a knot, sticking a bead and tying a knot all the way through. And so as you'll notice, there are, and this I made very specifically for the way that I meditate, because I don't I've never approached meditation as trying to clean my mind entirely from thoughts, because that's impossible for me, and I just I never was taught that way through like Pima Children's teachings or Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching. So with this one, I would simply be breathing, and then this is where I've talked about this before in a video, that when thoughts come up, I simply label them what they are, push it on, and then continue breathing. And so that's how I would use this, or any kind of simple breathing meditation. It was just that kind of slow in and out breathing, paying attention to each breath. When thoughts come, I don't stress about it. I simply label what it is as thought, or as worry, or as whatever it is, memory, whatever it is the label, and you just kind of push it off. And I was talking to somebody after the live chat where I talked about that process of sort of touching things and then letting it go. And it's kind of that visualization of being, like for me, when I meditate, I try to visualize even sitting in a warm pool of water, and thoughts float up like leaves, right? They kind of float in. I don't stress about it. I don't let it be anything that is stressful or anxiety inducing, I simply acknowledge it, and then you just tap the leaf like it was on water and watch it float off and return back to breathing. And so it's not, you're not supposed to beat yourself up about having the thoughts. You're not supposed to stress out that you're not sitting there with an empty mind. It's just, okay, there it is. You touch it and you let it go. And if obviously the more that you do it, the more easier it becomes to just touch and let go. Everything takes practice. But that's what I would do with something like this, where or just simply sit with a candle and breathe and do that same kind of label and touch and let go. But this one I made for a very specific practice, and it's the one that I return to the most. Now, I have found an old blog post I wrote because I had lined it all out. There's no point for me rewriting it. And so I have re-put that on my blog, which is, I'm trying to get started again. And I will put a link in the description box below. But I'm also going to kind of walk through how I do this. So this has a focal bead here, which most prayer things do. In a rosary, you've got your focal piece here, and then you've got the cross or whatever insignia is hanging down below it. Even this, which is more of a pagan one, has a focal point with a wolf here, and then it has these breaks. Same thing with a rosary. You have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you have a space with a single, and then you have your 10 in a space. So you would do like 10 Hail Marys, and then you might do an All Father, and so you kind of go around it like that. I'm sure there's very different ways. I never, in practice as a Catholic, used a rosary. My grandmother did, so I have a great deal of memories of them, but I never myself used those, so you would have to look those up separately. But that's generally, like, this has a focal point, and then it has all of the 82 beads there. This one was very specifically set up to have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 smaller beads, and then a focal bead. 8 smaller beads and a focal bead, 8 smaller beads and a focal bead, and then the large main bead. And so I use this in a very, very specific way, and it has been done countless numbers of time. And again, the link to that, because I'm going to explain it to you, but if you want to actually read it out, you can go to that link, and I have it actually written out. So there is what I call the smiling meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'm going to read you something really quick that he wrote. And this is, again, in my blog post, but this is what made me start to do this, exactly what I do with these beads. So he wrote, breathing in, I calm my body. So he's explaining, so there are 4 lines to the smiling meditation, and I do it twice. So I have the 8 beads here, and I do it twice. So it is breathing in, I calm my body. That's the first line. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And I do that twice, but here's the explanation of it. So I want to explain that so you can see what he says about that. So the first line is, breathing in, I calm my body. Reciting this line is like drinking a glass of ice water. You feel the cold, the freshness permeate your body. When I breathe in and recite this line, I actually feel the breathing calming my body, calming my mind. The second line is breathing out, I smile. You know the effect of a smile. A smile can relax hundreds of muscles in your face and relax your nervous system. A smile makes you master of yourself. That is why the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which are people that reach enlightenment but stay on earth to help other people, are always smiling. When you smile, you realize the wonder of the smile. I mean, you have to think of like the Dalai Lama, who's the most happiest person. He smiles so wonderfully, and same thing with Thich Nhat Hanh, and there's a reason for that. The third line is dwelling in the present moment. While I sit here, I don't think of somewhere else, of the future, of the past. I sit here and I know where I am. This is very important. We tend to be alive in the future, not now. We say, wait until I finish school and get my PhD degree, and then I will be really alive. When we have it and it wasn't easy to get, we say to ourselves, I have to wait until I have a job in order to be really alive. And then after the job, a car, after the car, a house. We are not capable of being alive in the present moment. We tend to postpone being alive into the future, the distant future. We don't know when. Now is not the moment to be alive. We may never be alive at all in our entire life. Therefore, the technique, if we have to speak of a technique, is to be in the present moment, to be aware that we are here and now, and the only moment to be alive is the present moment. And then the fourth line is, I know this is a wonderful moment. This is the only moment that is real. To be here and now and enjoy the present moment is our most important task. So the basic idea here of the 4 lines, he writes at the end, calming, smiling, present moment, wonderful moment. And that is the smiling meditation. So so with these 8 beads, I go through that twice. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment. This is the in breath, right? So it's actually breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So I go through that smiling meditation twice. These large beads I use for what's called metta, and that is loving kindness meditation. And this really made a big impact on me and is something that I obviously used. I created this particular set to use that specifically. And so the practice of metta is based off something that Buddha himself spoke of, and it's designed as I talk about it, the point of it is to show loving kindness to yourself. So that's the first main bead here. I start with that. Then to show loving kindness to the people that you love, your friends and family, that close circle of people that you love. Then to show loving kindness to somebody that you don't like and or are at that moment angry with. And then to show loving kindness outwards to the rest of the world. And so there is a specific, you can find different ones. I can't even remember where I found these particular words, but there's variations on it. I think I tweaked these a little to work for myself. I can't remember because I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Sometimes I go long periods where I don't, and then I pull it out and I start fresh again. Again, it's not about beating yourself up, but I feel very calm when I do this. So when you say loving kindness, you start with yourself. So this main bead here is for myself. May I be well. May I feel safe and protected. May I feel pleased and content. May my physical body support me. May my life unfold smoothly with ease. So you're offering up a blessing to yourself first. And then I would do 2 of those smiling meditations. And then I would come to the next bead. And I would do this for my friends and family. Now, you could actually name off specific people, or I do it when I'm doing this particular one. I just do it for, may my friends and family be well. May they feel safe and protected. May they feel pleased and content. May their physical bodies support them. May their lives unfold smoothly with ease. And then I would do 8 of the smiling meditations, breathing in, breathing out, doing those smiling meditations. And then I would do it for a specific person. So I would literally have somebody in mind that I may have an old animosity towards, somebody I'm currently not feeling at ease with, whatever that might be. So may whoever that be well. May they feel safe and protected. May they feel pleased and content. May their physical body support them. May their life unfold smoothly with ease. And then I do 8 smiling meditations. And then it comes to the last one where you do it for the whole world. So may all or may everyone be well. May everyone feel safe and protected. May they feel pleased and content. May their physical body support them. May their lives unfold smoothly with ease. And then I would do 8 more smiling meditations, which would bring me back to the end. So that's how I use this particular one, and I highly recommend it. It's not super long. The reason I started this was doing, 82, 84. I'm having a complete brain, total brain freeze, but it was overwhelming to me, and so this was very manageable, and this was something it didn't take a long time to do, but I would do this before bedtime, and then I would often start this in the morning, but generally when I'm doing this consistently, it's before I go to sleep. This is something you could even have at your bedside table, because you can be laying in bed and doing this, although I recommend, generally I would be sitting cross-legged and with a candle and doing this more intentionally, but I have also done this in bed, just laying loosely on my back and going through this and doing it that way as well. So but at the beginning, when I first started, I literally had a 3x5 card with the loving kindness or the metta words on it, and I had another one with the smiling words on it, and I simply would sit cross-legged. I had those 2 cards in front of me and a candle. You don't have to stress over getting it memorized right. At the beginning, just simply have those cards there, light a candle, get in that mode, and simply have that time. And it is very calming and very relaxing, and it's something that I also, if I'm very, very stressed out, I will do, and it will kind of bring me back into a good space. Again, this is very cheap to make. You just go to Michael's or Joann's or craft store and get a large focal bead, some smaller beads, and then 3 of a kind of a medium beads, and some twine. It's really cheap and it's really easy to do. So that's how I do that. And I can do the same thing here. Now this has 9, but I can do loving kindness and simply do an extra breath. And then here I have myself. I have my friends and families, somebody that I don't have good thoughts of, and the world over here. So I could do the same thing with this set as well if I wanted to. But this again I use mostly for tapping into the energy and just holding it while I'm reading. This is really like what I would consider working beads for me. So there we have it. I just thought I would do that again as a VR to Sacred Seed. I've been meaning to do this and I hadn't done it, and so there we have it. Again, in the description box below, I'll have a link to her video, Sacred Elle, her name is Elle, her video, as well as Nobody Hears a Rosary video, as well as the blog post that has all of that written out if you want to get the loving kindness and the smiling meditation words from that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you make a set of these, or if you have a set, if you pop them up on Instagram and tag me, I'd love to see them and see how you might actually use them too. So that will be interesting to see how people use these types of things. So have an absolutely wonderful day.